ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਰੁਮੇਲ ਗੁਲਜ਼ਾਰ
BBC Asian Network Cluster ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ.
There's growing opposition to the BBC's plan to close the Asian Network radio station, and it's coming from listeners, presenters and the music industry, also from stars of the show business and sports world. The BBC's programming for the Asian community began life here in Leicester back in 1977. It proved an enormous hit on the local radio station, with 2 out of 3 of the target community tuning in. They wanted to hear about news back home, and they wanted to make requests for their favourite records. In 2002, the BBC set up a national Asian station. Now, just 8 years later, it wants to shut it down.
It enables the Asian community to remain cohesive through this media, through the language interaction, through cultural interaction, through discussions, and it brings them together, closer all the time. So it's very important that we maintain some national profile for the Asian community through institutions like the Asian Network.
The problem is the cost, more than £12 million a year. The station broadcasts in English but has programmes in Urdu, Hindi, Punjabi, Bengali, Gujarati and Mirpuri. The clamour to keep it open is getting louder, with actors and actresses like Shilpa Shetty and Meera Syal and Sanjeev Bhaskar, and also the world boxing champion Amir Khan, all campaigning to save it. Tens of thousands have already signed up on the social networking site Facebook. But is it worth saving? Well, it's lost more than a third of its audience in the last 5 years, but it's still popular in many Asian restaurants and bars.
There may be things that can be changed in terms of programming, but I think that the Asian community in the UK have a right to have this station, as do people to any other station. So I'm really upset about the decision for it to be shut down.
I wish they do carry it on, but I don't know, with the BBC and the cuts, I don't know what they're going to do. But what I'd say is, please do keep it going if you can. I think it's really necessary, especially for the Asian community, because you find the younger generation are tapping in, listening to things that I think they may not listen to, and getting involved in conversations, and the music's great as well.
Critics say the Asian Network really should be closed down because it's been badly managed and it's lost focus. But those who want to keep it open say it must be kept open for this reason, and that is, where else are we going to find an independent voice that represents the Asian community?
It is sad that they are proposing to close down the national network, but it was coming. It was almost inevitable, because the Asian Network allowed itself to come down in standards, both in language and the other output. And therefore, we are facing a situation where we have to defend a national network because it's Asian, which is what we'd like to do, but we'd like to see it done differently. There has to be substantial reform, and there has to be a National Advisory Council behind it to guide it and to make sure that the audience figures, instead of dropping as they've dropped consistently in the last few months or years, begin to increase because of the quality of programs, the quality of languages, the quality of entertainment.
Unions say closing the Asian Network and the cult music station BBC Radio 6 could mean the loss of 600 jobs, and they describe the cuts as unnecessary and purely politically motivated. In total, the BBC wants to make cuts of £600 million a year. We're now in the middle of a public consultation period. By the end of the spring, we'll know whether the staff here at the BBC Asian Network in Leicester and in Birmingham and London and elsewhere still have a job. Bharat Patel in Leicester for Pukaar News.